Keep it simple, stupid.
Take a fantasy, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben, and Hector's not here today. He is doing one of his chalk things. So wish Hector the best of luck with his crazy 3D chalk art. I actually miss going to those things. We've had a lot of fun over the years with being Hector's sort of minions, like, you know, we're just helping him fill in the blocks of color and stuff. And actually in February, me, James, and Hector are all doing separate pieces of that chalk thing. So we're slowly being infected with the chalk bug. It's a lot of fun. So this weekend we did Clematis by Night on Halloween. That was fun. And we were dressed as pirates. Hector basically can only dress as a pirate. I'm not 100% sure why, but any other costume he tries to wear makes him look like a pirate. So we just went for pirates. And then we played at the Kilted Mermaid on Friday. And then we did do something.
AAYC, right?
Yeah, AAYC on Sunday. But on Saturday, we played in Vero at the Stamp Bar with Tim Holhouse, and that was really cool. That was I've never played Stamp Bar before. It's a really small place, but it just went off, man. It was wicked. So we have the Burn Club with us today. How's it going, fellas?
It's going, man. What's up, Ben? Thanks for having us. Man.
Yeah. We have John and Jordan from the Burn Club. So it's a real pleasure to have you.
The pleasure is ours.
Yeah, we've been keeping up with the 561 podcast, so we're honored, man. You've been doing good work in the community, man.
Yeah.
Nice one. And the reason you guys are on it is we played a show together, didn't we?
Yes, we played a 6 show at Prop.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, these guys are really, really good. How have I missed them, you know? So we had to get you on.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, we were definitely honored that you asked. We're happy to be here, man. We want to be a part of the 561 community, man.
Insane.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm glad.
Absolutely.
So, how did you? I think there's quite a good story here, so I'm going to ask it. How did you guys become a band?
Yeah, so we're actually missing we're a 3-piece band. We're missing our bass player and vocalist, Brian.
Shout out to Brian.
He's got husband duties tonight and is unavailable. But actually in 2020, I was actually getting out of rehab, and
me too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh. It was like rehab and COVID and all kinds of stuff was going on, and so I was found myself there, and what got me there, you know, I'd lost my career and just kind of in a fluctuating space of not really knowing what's going to happen next.
It's a crazy time.
Yeah, but it was during that time that Brian, our bass player, gave me a call and was like, "Hey, man, you know, what are you doing these days?" And I was actually bagging groceries at Publix,
right,
and staying at a halfway house and going to meetings. And he's like, "You playing any music?" And I was like, "No, it's been a little while." And so we jumped back in, and we started meeting at a friend's house. Our friend Nick, and he plays in Like Pirates, good band. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, Like Pirates,
Like Pirates,
yeah, great band.
Hector,
but anyway,
you should join them.
Yeah, Hector should join them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he would fit right in. Great guys. But anyway, I started playing with him, and then randomly I had a buddy call me from Chicago and asked me to come up and play a show with his band, and he was in this pop punk cover band.
Okay.
And so I went up to Chicago, played with him, and I just had a blast. Just so much fun, right? So I went home and called Brian. I was like, "Hey, what do you think about getting together and playing just all of our favorite songs, and maybe we can make some money, but just have jam."
Yeah.
So he was down, and we started reaching out to some of our friends. I reached out to my friend Ryan Alvarado, who was formerly in this band DK Limp, which was pretty successful back in the day, Warped Tour, and pretty successful bands. And I reached out to him, and he was down, and so we started learning some songs. And at a Newfound Glory show, I was with one of my friends of 12 years, and she was singing these Newfound Glory songs in my ear, and I turned around, I said, "SDA, are you playing in any bands? What are you doing?" And she had never been in a band before, but she was down.
Oh,
so
wicked.
I got her, and then asking around, I asked my friend Josh Diaz, Shout out to Josh. Further Seems Forever.
George.
I asked him to play in our band, and he said, I don't really have the time, but I know this guy, Johnny Orange. And I was
Okay,
like,
cool.
okay, all right. So
Johnny Orange is
So
a
then-
real awesome rock
he
name.
he already sounded like a legend.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I got the call from Josh, and he was like, "Hey, would you be interested in doing like pop punk covers?" I was like, "Absolutely."
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Just right off the bat.
So I was in a band with Josh. We were in a cover band called JJ and the Florida Oranges, and we were doing folk stuff, do folk covers.
Right.
And they came out to check us out,
Yeah, we scoped it out. We want to scout him
scoping
out.
me out,
Like, what's this guy Johnny Orange all about?
see if he's any good.
Yeah, and we fell in love, and so he joined the band, and from the first note he played with us, our band was good to go, and that band still a working band that we have called Live from '05.
Yeah.
And we do Paramore tribute shows. We do all kinds of different shows, and so it's a good band for us to kind of keep our chops up and get
Sure.
to play with our best friends, all our favorite songs, and play at Fat Cats. And
Do you do any other stuff like that? I feel
Yes, we
yeah.
do. We're getting to that.
Gotcha. I'll let you keep going.
yeah.
yeah, we kind of discovered that we don't limit ourselves, and so we have a group of friends, and we try different things out. And so one of the things we tried out, it was kind of funny. We had learned a Rancid song for our covered band, Time Bomb,
Yeah.
from Tony Hawk. Everybody knows it from Tony Hawk
Sure,
back
yeah.
in the day. So we learned that song, and we're like, oh, we're having so much fun. And then Brian, who I also work with, our bass player for Live from '05, all of a sudden he comes to me all frantically. He goes, hey, we gotta start a Rancid tribute band, like right
Yeah.
now. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know how it happened, but through one thing or through another, I booked us a show at House of Blues and Revolution back-to-back nights.
When was this?
This was January 2023.
Okay, I think I know someone who went to that show.
Yeah,
at
so
least
it was
one of those.
Live Nation,
Yeah.
their show was already set up, and so the guy got Brian's number and said, "You know anybody who does something like this?" And Brian's like, "Yeah, we have a Rancid tribute band." So
that's some big balls right there.
Yes.
Yes, I think he just was so confident in the one song that we knew. He's like, we can do it.
yeah, and he sent him a video of our cover band playing that one song to Live Nation, and they were like, "Okay, great." And so we created an Instagram that day. We named ourselves Time Bombed that day, and then
We just had to find someone who could do Lars.
yeah, we needed.
We
the
still
fourth member
hadn't
of
found the
Rancid.
fourth member to complete the
shucks.
Rancid tribute. And so Brian finally he thought of someone. Shout out to Andy.
Andy Hall, yeah.
Big up, Andy.
Dude, he said, I have a guy who could be just like Lars. And we had no idea how close. I mean, if you guys like Rancid, you guys just go check out Time Bombed. He's like
Yeah.
Lars in his prime, this guy.
I know
Andy.
2 or 3 people who've seen you guys playing. It was all good reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot
So
of fun.
before you went into that, how much I'm sort of like a medium like Rancid fan. I know a bunch of their tunes, but did you guys listen to Rancid prior?
I'm a huge Rancid fan.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And Brian is too.
Brian is too, yeah. And I was just like joining the party, man.
Yeah.
These guys
Yeah.
were showing me all these songs, and I was like, let's go. Yeah.
It's my wife's favorite band, so the soundtrack of our marriage has been a lot of
on.
Rancid involved.
Oh, that's awesome.
That
I love
must be fun then. You must have
Yeah.
a fun soundtrack.
She always jokes that you know how there's that joke among married people that you get like a free pass.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Tim
Oh,
Armstrong.
Tim
Oh, man.
Tim Armstrong in his prime or currently?
In his prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think, I think that she might forgive him for the beard. I'm not sure.
He rocks it. He's always
does rock
he
it.
just embraced, whatever he's going for. He's
such a legend.
He goes all in, always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. What's that? I'm drawing a little bit of a transplants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Travis
that.
Barker.
Yeah, the transplants were really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
And there's a few tunes after that that kind of transplant-y that I like as well. I don't think it's a Poet's Life. Maybe it was all. I think it's because that was all solo. That was like reggae and solo
The Tim
acoustic
stuff, the
stuff.
Tim
Yeah.
Armstrong stuff.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
mostly,
but there's enough.
ska.
There's some stuff out there that is kind of like transplants that he's done after that as well. I like that stuff where it's like hip hop, bit drum and bassy, bit hip hoppy.
yeah.
It's cool.
which I always thought, was cool and you learn more about like Tim Armstrong, and he's trying new things, and it's kind of like what we're always doing, looking for new, play with new people, look for new opportunities, just kind of see what happens, but we keep the kind of core of what we do together. And I think that's why we've been able to have some moderate success there.
Yeah, and I would say that learning every single Rancid song is a good thing in terms of your own writing, because Rancid songs are great, and so it's definitely going to bleed in a little bit.
Absolutely,
and
I think it does.
Basically how the Burn Club started.
Right.
Is we were just playing those Rancid tunes.
We wanted more of that, so you're like, let's do our own thing.
Some of our best songs in Bomb the Algorithm have started with "Let's do a Rancid song."
Right.
And then, started, and it never ends up sounding like Rancid, but it's just like there's a good. It's like keep it simple, stupid. Just like good, strong.
That's my feelings every time.
Because that's what you need out of a song, really. At least the bones of it,
Absolutely.
Then you can kind of add things. But cool. So the Burn Club grew out of that. Is it all the same members?
Yeah, so it's just Brian, John, and myself. So the rhythm section of Live from '05.
We call ourselves Dem Dirty Rhythm Boys.
Dem Dirty Rhythm Boys. It's kind of like the nickname for Johnny, Brian, and I that we gave to ourselves. And but it's like we're
DDRB.
DDRB. That's
I know
right.
a band called that.
Do you?
Yeah. A friend of mine is in a band called DDRB.
Oh, nice.
I got to tell him about Dem Dirty Rhythm.
Yeah.
He's going to love that.
Well, if you look on our Spotify, you'll see DDRB Records, and that's
just that.
Because Dominic Delaney and Ricky Balouf.
The Shake. Those guys.
Yeah,
those guys are awesome.
Together as DDRB.
They're so good.
Yeah, that's
probably
wild.
times.
That's really funny that it's the same. I'm going to wind him up right now.
That's great.
I'm just going to call them Dem Dirty Rhythm Boys from now.
Yeah, it was cool. It was because we were doing Live from '05, and we were doing Time Bombed already, the three of us. We were consistent in both projects, and so it just kind of evolved into the three of us writing songs, and we just basically started sending stuff to each other via voice memos. So all three of us play a little guitar, all three of us sing a little bit, and so it was just kind of helpful. And Johnny came forward and he kind of started. He goes, "Here's something I have," and I was blown away. And I was like, we need to put something together right away. And we weren't sure if Brian was going to be on board at that time, just because Brian does a lot of things. He's super busy, and I weren't sure if, being in an original band, it's going to take work, right?
Totally. Yeah,
it's going to take work. You're going to come, you got to pay your dues, and it's going to be hard. So we weren't sure if he was just in that place yet. He was getting married and stuff like that. And, but what happened was he started watching that show, Daisy Jones and the Six.
Right.
And I'm so glad he's not here, because he'd probably kill me for saying this. But he got so inspired by like the writing story of that show on Hulu, that of these people
so funny.
writing music. They were writing music togetger.
Yeah.
And as a musician, when you see that magic, even if it's like happening on screen on a Hulu movie or show or whatever, but he came into me to the office one day. He goes, "I want to start writing," and I was like, "Good," because Johnny and I already started. And it was, those conversations were happening in May, and we had tracked our 8-song record in July. So we moved quick. This was of last year. Yeah, we've been a band for about a year, and so yeah.
Cool. So what when it comes to writing songs outside of Rancid, is there any sort of bands that you feel like directly influenced you guys? Like who else would you say is a big influence other than Rancid in your music?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hot Water music.
I was gonna say H2O.
Yeah, H2O is a band that the three of us all really love. So it's cool, Hot Water kind of brings that funk of a rhythm section, because they're, while they're punk and heavy, Brian and I are obsessed with their bass player and drummer and the way that they play together.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So we like them, and H2O. We're huge Toby Morse fans. So
yeah, cool.
Everything he does, we like to follow.
Yeah, punk rock is. I love punk so much. If you look over the years of all of the bands we've had on this show, it's pretty heavily weighted towards punk.
Yeah,
for sure. I thought it was only punk.
Yeah. So
South Florida's kind of always, welcomed, I think, the punk scene. I've always lived in South Florida, so I grew up in I was born in Miami and grew up in the Fort Lauderdale area, and It was kind of the first music I remember seeing live, you know, as a young kid,
Yeah.
14, 15.
In terms of original music, I would say that's true, yeah, because it's like you get all the kind of fish sandwich reggae bands that kind of do like all the like play Santeria in bars and stuff like that, and then you get like actual real reggae bands who are good,
Yeah.
you know, and then you know, and then it's really like there's not that many like there's not that many classic rock original bands.
No, there's not.
There's that one Vern Daisel and the Burning Breeze that are kind of like that, but there's really not that many.
No.
It's I guess that just as a style of music, it's just not that relevant anymore. That kind of classic rock sound, but punk is just evergreen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It just
it's
keeps
true.
going. You know,
It's true.
like
You know who put out a great rock album down here? Give them another shout out. Beeline.
okay, yeah.
Have you heard the Beeline record?
I haven't
That
heard
band
the
is
record, I
great,
haven't.
by the way.
Yeah, sick.
They played a show with our Rancid tribute band, and was that Rancid tribute or Paramore? It might have been Paramore, but they played the Weezer Blue album
Oh, cool.
and blew my face off, and
Wow.
then they released their record about 2 weeks ago. It was great.
Oh, sick. There was Sons of a Tradesman. You remember those guys?
yeah.
That's a classic rock band with their own songs. Yeah.
They're still playing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, I know that they're not as busy as they have been, but I think that I'm pretty sure they do. The drummer is in Billy Doom is Dead now. That's
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
We love Billy.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Billy.
he's
Shout
a
out to
great
Billy.
guy, and the band's sick too. Yeah, so when it comes to actually writing the songs, are any of you like more prolific? Like, who is there anyone who's sort of more the writing person than other
Yeah,
people?
that's me.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Like usually they'll send me just a tiny little snippet of a chorus or a verse, and I'll try to just build from it.
Yeah, and how do you go about that?
I use the thesaurus a lot.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
you too.
like Rhyme Zone and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I usually just like I'll try to think of an idea or something that like a simple just idea that I want to say in a song, and then I'll just build from that
Nice.
little by little. Yeah, sometimes it'll come real quick. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, no, it does.
There's still songs that I'm still working on.
Yeah, for real.
He's a really talented lyricist, songwriter.
Oh, I can,
Yeah.
by the songs, it's evident,
Yeah, like you said, Brian or myself, or we'll send them just a riff, a very incomplete idea, and then, I mean, it's like drawing a line on a paper and watching it come back. It's like something beautiful. Like, it's
Sometimes
really cool.
that's all it takes. But it's just that little kernel. I love it when someone gives me a kernel of an idea.
Yeah.
Just,
me too. Me too. Seriously.
It gets the ball rolling.
Even like I'll say sometimes like, you guys want me to write about anything or like a topic, because just a tiny little just idea it's just much easier to build from.
Yeah, definitely. And I find the way it works with me is it's probably down to the fact that I'm pretty competitive or something as a person. But I find like when I'm with someone else, I write really fast.
Oh.
Like if someone else is like there and we're just kind of working on stuff, I'll be like, and then we should do this, and then we should do this. I'll just, ideas come. Maybe it's down to like a fear that they'll think of the idea first. I was like, I have no idea what it is. but I work really, really fast when I'm with someone. But yeah, man, it's how prolific would you say you are? Like how fast do you find yourself writing?
It really just depends. Yeah, there's some songs that I wrote in like maybe an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
But then there's songs that I'm literally still don't feel like they're ready to be
So
shared.
You have like an album's worth of original music, like for a new album, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a whole nother album that we're waiting to track.
Yeah, we our first record is available. Welcome to the Burn Club.
Yeah.
It's on all the platforms. We released that about a year ago, and so we have another 8 songs written.
Excellent.
And we're
How long
looking
did it take you guys to write those 8 songs?
Probably 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, back to that question of how prolific, pretty prolific then. They're just coming out. Yeah.
Like as far as me writing like the basic foundation of the song it can be pretty quick, but doing it as a full band, it takes a little bit more time.
Yeah, sure, because you've got to live with it a little bit.
And and the thing is that we always used to say too is because we would write songs. Our songs are so fast, and we would call them burners. So it would take us a little bit of time to get comfortable with the song, because we'd be halfway through the song and just be like, oh my God, are we gonna get through this?
Yeah, we wrote this song too fast and too long.
Yeah. And then we'd be like, should we slow it down? And Jordan's like, No.
Yeah, you don't want to slow it down too much. That's cool though. It's great to hear that you guys have got tons of ideas and sort of flowing out. So when it comes to tracking and recording, what's been your experience with that? Like, do you guys ever do it yourselves, or a lot of you go to studios? Or
Yeah, so for the record that's out right now, we tracked the drums at Marquee Music. We were
rehearsing there at the
we
time.
were rehearsing at Marquee, which is it's a rehearsal studio and recording studio in the Deerfield Beach area. And so we recorded the drums there at the big beautiful room, and so we went in there and tracked the drums, and it was a pretty good experience. We might have done some things differently moving forward, but then we actually sent it, and then we tracked everything there. Actually, we tracked everything there, and then we sent everything to our friend Kane, who works at Red Line Studio in Orlando.
Okay, cool.
Which is a badass studio. It's won the best studio in Orlando for 2 years in a row.
Nice.
And they do some cool things.
It's one of the best studio in Orlando for the 2 years in a row. Oh my god, it must be really nice.
Yeah, they're really cool. They do like live recordings that they do with videos and stuff like that. He's doing a lot of cool things. He's also the guy who runs that studio is the guitarist for 430 Steps.
Okay.
Steps.
Yeah, got it.
Shout out 430 Steps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they
That's awesome. So what you tracked it at this other one and you mixed it there?
Yeah, so we sent it to Kane. He just did an incredible job mixing it and did it quickly and
Mixed and mastered.
and really hooked us up with a price that we could afford at the time.
Yeah, seriously.
He was just amazing. And so Kane sent it back to us, and then we put it on Spotify. And
That's awesome. Have you guys got any like sort of pretensions to recording? Like, do you have any of the gear at home or anything like that? Any of you guys do the Logic thing or anything like that?
Yeah, no, we're so low maintenance, and it's like, walking in with our guitars and sticks, and
it's very like it's refreshing because everyone I know is like a wannabe producer, you know what I mean? Like me included, except that I do get paid for it these days, so I'd say that I'm not wannabe anymore. But like, but I was for a long time. But like, yeah, it's like everyone's trying to record their own stuff, and actually, I think it's a good thing to separate those two things: the artist and the person recording it, because there's some music that I've worked on of my own that I've just spent forever tweaking, because I could because there's no one like,
Yeah, you're almost setting yourself at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
See, we are the smart ones by not teaching ourselves how to record it. No, I'm just kidding.
I got to tell you, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing in the long run, because it means you can focus on just the writing of the music.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Definitely. So, all right. So then when it came to releasing it, it's all self-released, right?
Yeah, we did it all ourselves. My wife marketed. She did the graphics, everything.
Yeah, it's really convenient that Jonathan's married to somebody who's just as talented as he is, if not more.
Cool.
Not only musically, but artistically. She's a phenomenal artist and photographer and graphic designer, and she does the content for like everything that we do.
Nice one.
All the bands. So she's phenomenal.
So she's doing like, is she involved in you guys' social media as well?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Live from 05, Time Bomb, Burn Club.
That is huge.
She does the T-shirt designs, and then Billy prints them.
That's really, really cool.
Shout
That's
out to Billy, guys.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Shout out to Lauren.
Absolutely. Shout out. That's awesome. We have a lady called Danielle who we pay to do it. She's a friend, we've known her for a long time. But having someone there to handle all that stuff is huge.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She was at even our last show. Our band Live from 05 was playing an out of town show last weekend, and she's up there pregnant.
She's 9 months pregnant,
Oh, wow.
taking pictures of my band.
She's 9 months pregnant with a press pass.
Congratulations. What is soon to be.
Yeah,
It's pretty
first time
exciting.
dad.
yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah, man.
I'm stoked.
That's super exciting. Yeah, man. Like, because social media, it's obvious. It's just so important,
And
It's like-
exhausting.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, since we've had Danielle doing our thing, and she's so reliable. There's always things come out at the same time. The algorithm loves her because she's so consistent, and it's the perception of being a real thing. It's like I'll speak to people who I've never met, but they're getting they're getting these Killbillies things coming in super regularly, and it's like, oh, you know, like when it comes to how much you could charge someone or something like that, you know, that all becomes a lot easier because you're like, well, we're going to promote you across all these things. Plus, there's already the image of the fact that, you know, you're this real solid thing,
right?
Rather than trying to do it yourself off your own personal page.
It's exhausting though, trying to keep up with that, all the social media stuff.
It really is. I've got one that one of the bands I play in, Nina's Yard Party, does not have anyone. It's just me, and it doesn't have the best social media in comparison to the other ones, you know. I just can't keep up with it. I really can't.
There's just a lot of pressure to, you know, put that kind of stuff out, and we're really fortunate to have Lauren who helps us with that, because keeping up with that on your own, it can be, you could burn out on that alone, you know. And then so you got to kind of protect yourself and your music. And
I would give my right arm for a social media person that I didn't have to pay.
Well, we should probably be paying her.
Oh no, what have I done? But, super cool. So when did you guys start playing music? Like, was it something that you've done all your lives, or is it
I started at, I think 13 years old. I started taking piano lessons.
Okay, cool.
So I did that for 5 years, and then after that...
Great place to start.
Oh, yeah. And I wanted to do more contemporary stuff and do stuff that I was hearing on the radio, so I picked up the guitar, and I never looked back.
Nice one, man. What about you?
Yeah, my dad's a really prolific bass player.
Oh, really?
Grew up in North Miami in jazz, funk, blues, really solid professional bass player. So I was like 10 or 11, and he was like, I'm getting you drum lessons because I need somebody to practice with.
So, you were in like a Leonard Skinner cover band?
Yeah, I was probably 13, 14 playing, you know, in cover bands and bars and with my dad's classic rock bands.
I think Brian was there too, right?
Brian's played in bands with my dad, not at that age, but yeah, it's he's a great bass player. So I was about 10 or 11. I started taking drum lessons, and
I feel like coming from Miami is a very different experience than coming from anywhere else in Florida. Like, it's a very specific place, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all I've ever known. And I was born in North Miami. So that's, if you go there, it's still, you know, it's nice, you know, it hasn't changed all that much. But there's some rough areas down there. You know, my family moved up to Broward when I was still in elementary school. Right. You know, just because of that, you know, just the areas were getting tougher.
Yeah, sure.
So, you know, pretty much spent most of my time in Broward. But, you know, if I'm ever traveling abroad and people ask where I'm from, I always say Miami.
Well, yeah, it's just Miami is opposed to other places in Florida. It's like metropolitan. It's like cultural. It has that thing like New York or something where it's got like amazing art galleries and stuff like that. You know, it's just different than coming from other places around here. You're exposed to a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of cool stuff happening in some of the areas down there. Like over in
the one thing I wish there was more of is rock.
Yeah,
punk rock. That's it.
You know, Gramps had Hot Water Music last Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah, they were down at Gramps.
Oh.
We were emailing.
We were trying to get.
I was emailing the Hot Water Music manager for 2 months.
We got big dreams.
Yeah, I'm like,
we reach for the stars.
I'm like, we're gonna be there anyway.
Come on, Hot Water Music.
Shout out Hot Water Music.
Yeah, for real. Like, it just seems like, you know, there was Churchill's, that's no more, and then there's, where is there to play in Miami at the moment?
Yeah, it's Gramps. That's it, right? Is Tobacco Road still there?
I know. The Burn Club has never played in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's like, it's a shame.
Well, you know, there's such a great scene up here right now. That's what we're like kind of
true too, yeah.
trying
That is true.
There's so many places to play up around here. You know?
You're right. Instead of focusing on the bad, the rest of the rest of South Florida is just kicking off.
I love it. I can't believe, like, I tell Billy this when I see him, but I always thank him because Burn Club played our like first show or second show, and Billy was right there, and man, that guy was so welcoming, like, to the scene, introducing us to people, making sure that we have what we needed, 100%. Asking us if we needed t-shirts printed, and you know, here we are, these new guys, and jumping into the scene, and it just felt awesome. To be a part of.
He's been huge for the scene around here. I feel like right now you could have 3 or 4 really, really good punk shows on the same night with people at them,
Easy.
and then and the bands all
And
be
all
good.
the bands will be sick too.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that hasn't been like that for a long time.
Every show we play, I'm like, I see a new band I haven't seen before, and I'm like, holy cow!
new
man,
band.
there
Yeah,
are some great bands in this area.
And that's, you know, that I was talking to the guys about it on the weekend. It's like we've been seeing sort of like the scene sort of like slowly get its legs, but I feel like it's just good now. You know, it's like a good scene. Like, you know, how big do you want it? I mean, is it, you know, there's a bunch of it's great.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, like the one thing that we don't get down here, the you get in the rest of the US is like as many opportunities to support big bands because a lot of them don't come down.
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't come all the
get
way
it.
down here.
Yeah, and as many opportunities to support like bands that aren't like massive,
Right.
but they're sort of like, you know, the next rung
That
down.
sweet spot that bands like yours and ours are trying to get in. Yeah, it's like, well, I remember Billy got on with Less Than Jake at the Culture Room. Like, that's perfect. That's awesome, you know?
My band, the time when they played there, the time before my band played that one, known into our band.
Oh, nice. Oh, that, you were in there?
Yeah.
That was your band?
Yeah,
Ska band?
yeah, me and Matt. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man.
Sick.
Yeah, I think that was partly because Matt knows one of the guys from Less Than Jake. I think that's
Nice. Those guys are legends, man. Those guys are so cool. So
yeah,
good.
absolutely, man. It's that's my wife's second favorite band.
Dude, I think I'd like to hang out with your wife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
She sounds cool.
She's into punk. That's for sure. Yeah. All right. So I think this would be a good juncture to listen to you guys play a couple of tunes. That sound good?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do
Good,
it.
man.
All right. Wicked.
This is Hookers and Hockey.
Take one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hookers and hockey on a Saturday night. Mike, he's looking for love, he's looking to incite. He scours and trolls into all the wrong places, blinded by the aces and laces of bony stages. West Shore Boulevard, out with a Boise and double wearing trouble, better stop making noise. But he's screaming to his demons and starts losing his voice. Won't stop drinking, can't stop thinking, what's he trying to avoid? No regard, his ego enlarged, he's romantically devoid. Potential scarred and his future jarred from another bad choice. Hookers and hockey on a Saturday night. Mike, he's looking for love, he's looking to incite. He scours and trolls into all the wrong places, blinded by the aces and laces of phony stages. Sure, there's always a new smile to discover, nothing like the hope from a new lover, but it's not the right place or right time to find her. She's just a pro, don't you know, a damn good hustler. No regard, his ego enlarged, he's romantically devoid. Potential scarred and his future jarred from another bad choice. Hookers and hockey on a Saturday night. Mike, he's looking for love, he's looking to incite. He scours and trolls into all the wrong places, blinded by the aces and laces of pony stages. Getting late, but the game's still in overtime. He's got game, but he hasn't spared a dime. It's not fake, too many Corona lines. Security comes and he's wondering why. Hookers and hockey on a Saturday night. Mike, he's looking for love, he's looking to incite. He scours and trolls into all the wrong places, blinded by the aces and laces of pony stages. Cause in hockey on a Saturday night, Mike, he's looking for love, he's looking to incite these scours and trolls into all the wrong places, blinded by the aces and laces upon these stages.
You want to try Sanctuary?
Yeah.
6 a.m. and I'm barely slept. Trying to start the day and I'm feeling wrecked. A walking zombie and I'm starving for some escape. When the work is done, it's time to fucking play. It's time to fucking play. Cause you're my sanctuary and I should know I've been to many. I'll sing my heart out for this medley and all the times you were there for me. You're my sanctuary and I should know I've been to many. I'll sing my heart out for this medley and all the times you were there for me. It's worth it, but it wears me down. Still a few hours left and I'm about to drown. I try to break out of this town. I'm always tired, undesired, but for this I won't back down. I won't back down. 'Cause you're my sanctuary and I should know I've been to many. I'll sing my heart out for this medley and all the times you were there for me. You're my sanctuary and I should know I've been to many. I'll sing my heart out for this medley and all the times you were there for me. Found a buried treasure in these songs, will it last forever? I feel good once and I don't, however. Fuck all else, I'll take my measure. Found a buried treasure in these songs, will it last forever? I feel good once and I don't, however. Fuck all else, I'll take my measure. You're my sanctuary and I should know I've been to many. I'll sing my heart out for this medley and all the times you were there for me. You're my sanctuary and I should know I've been to many. I'll sing my heart out for this medley and all the times you were there for me.
Oasis route Kava bar is in Seagrape Square on Indiantown Rd, and it is a Kava bar. If you don't know anything about Kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of Kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like black light and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Route. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band Unemployed Youth accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue. We can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in, and it was a real success. Outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. Okay, so we just listened to some ads. One of them was for Live Music Community, which is where we're sitting right now. It's a school, among many other things. And so I like to ask, do you have any advice for people who are entering music?
Yeah, I would say find people to play with is the first thing. If you're just, you picked up an instrument and you're learning songs, and maybe you're running into some trouble or you're hitting a wall, find another guy to play with, a girl to play with, find somebody to play with. And because playing with people, I think is how music was created for. And and sharing that gift and creating something with somebody else, or just agreeing on something together and making something sound good.
It's communication music.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think that's the most important thing, and then just
practice.
Yeah, we're big on practice.
Yeah. We rehearse. When we first started, we were rehearsing at least once a week.
Yeah,
for 4 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what keeps it fresh, otherwise you get stuck playing the same stuff all the time. And rehearsing's really important. And it's one of those like things where it's you don't always want to do it. In fact, I often don't want to do it going in, but by the end I'm like, it's so much fun.
It's always a good time when we get together. So
make it fun, make practices fun. We always do, but it's important. We like the compliment that we do receive more than anything else is that our bands are tight.
Oh, for sure.
And it's because we put the work in.
Yeah, we put a lot of work into it.
I was talking about it earlier with the Burn Club. You've got like those like stops and one drops and stuff, and that really makes a big difference, especially when you're all doing it exactly at the same time. Right. So it just sounds like nothing. I like
and at fast
like
tempos. Fast tempos. Sometimes we got to spend
especially in the fast tempos.
Yeah, it's something that it hadn't really occurred to me that we don't have a lot of in Bomb the Algorithm, and since seeing you guys, that is going to change.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's not like I'd never heard anyone do it before, or anything like that, but it's just been a minute since I've heard those great like pop punk sort of like pushes and stuff.
Yes. A little bit of tension and then release. It's good.
We're going to get some of that going on.
I can't wait to hear that.
That band's getting kind of interesting now. Like we're sort of starting to veer more towards the like grime and hip hop with the ska. That's where the direction it seems to be going in.
I love it.
So what have you got coming up?
We got a new record coming out. We just we're trying to track that right now, and hopefully it'll be out next year.
Cool.
Yeah,
we got any shows coming up?
No, nothing on the books actually. We mentioned,
my wife is pregnant, so I'll be taking some time off.
God,
be with.
I was just about to say I can change that. we can.
No, it was done purposely to take a little bit of a break at this time. My wife is due around Thanksgiving, so
Gotcha.
Yeah, like you said, she's a big part of our group.
Yeah,
also.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we need her.
So December's going to be real quiet for us.
she's a big belly.
Well,
big
for
part of your
us as a
Yes.
band, won't be very quiet for me. I don't think.
No, you'll be busy. You'll be up late.
And stinky.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I did at one period of my life is I worked at a nursery and to take care of like change nappies and stuff like
yeah?
that. There were certain things about that job that were really fun.
Do you have kids? Do you have kids, Ben?
I do not know. No.
That's probably why, because you worked there.
Yeah.
Place.
Well, I tell you what, as someone who hasn't had kids, it was quite nice to get that experience with them, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
It was a cool time.
Nice.
It was back in Manchester, but right after I left my band Sonic Boom 6, and then I just I had this period before I moved to the US of being like working in those kind of places. It was cool.
Nice, man.
But when it comes to the writing on this new record, what sort of things are you writing about?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, all right, we got a few unique songs in this record.
Mm-hmm.
We have the song you heard earlier. It's called "Hookers and Hockey." Shout out to or rest in peace, Mike Petros,
Yep.
who we wrote the song about. We spent a weekend with him out in Tampa, and the song is literally about him. And he made a really big impact on us. He was just an amazing person, and unfortunately, he overdosed and passed away shortly after that weekend.
Yeah, that song would have been on the first record actually, and
because it was so close to his passing, we decided to wait.
No, fair enough.
So we didn't record it, and we actually didn't play it for a long time until Brian, our bass player, who was really really close with him, was like, I think.
Yeah, we kind of were waiting on him to be a little for him to be ready
okay.
and okay about it.
Yeah.
And there's actually another song that's going to be on that record called "Good Friend" that is also about him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
Really cool. He made an impact, and
Yeah, he made a big impact on us.
I think that's a very fertile ground for writing is those kind of very close, strong relationships, and especially when someone passes, because then your brain's already kind of filtering and processing all of the times you had together. And I find, that when I've had friends that passed away, I've never not written a song about them, it just comes out because it's like, it's part of the whole kind of like, therapeutic way of dealing with it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as musicians, like I think we just express ourselves the best that way through music. Sometimes we need to get it out and we don't know how, and sometimes a song does it for you.
Yeah, I feel like all my best songs are about people I've loved, like my family members, but best close friends, and I don't write a ton of songs about like women, except that there was about 3 songs on the new Nina's Yard Party things are about my wife. So I said recently that's not true. Yeah,
we're kind of or I'm kind of the same way. I don't really write about girls or anything like that.
Yeah, we got our first record. Is a lot about our community, our families.
Yeah, it's
talking about friendships.
It's about us mostly.
It's about us, yeah. And this next record, also about us. I think it's a little more personal.
Yeah, it is. There's a song that's going to be on it. It's called "Temper Temper." That's about me, really.
Confession time with Jonathan North.
Calm down.
What else?
So something
Digital. We have a song "Digital" that we played, and it's about just how everyone's addicted to social media.
Screen flippers.
Everyone's got one of those these days.
Yeah.
Like we've got one on the second single that that Bomb the Algorithm released is all about that.
Yeah.
Just how our lives is tied in with that. It's about the mess that like these algorithms have made of society.
Yes,
Absolutely. We're with you on that. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I'm glad you guys are bombing it. So we're marching right behind you, brother.
Yeah,
we're bombing the algorithm.
Man, we've got to play another show together. We've got to wait.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait.
Yeah. Something which I wanted to ask you is so you were coming out of rehab in 2020, so was I. Did you find that was, did you write around that kind of time? Did you find that was...
Yeah, I mean, it was a challenging time, and at that time is when I was just getting back into music, and I was actually writing a lot of stories, just kind of compiling my story, and but the way as far as expressing that in music, I haven't really explored that too much, to be honest with you.
I found that was like, I'd been like a professional musician right up to the point when I went in.
Yeah.
And so what I found was, when I was there, the last thing I wanted to do was pick up any instrument, because I had some kind of weird, complicated feelings about the way that they were kind of entangled.
It's like an identity crisis, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I was feeling.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, so who am I? Like, I had a career of 16 years and I had lost that job. At the time I was going through a divorce and lost my, family, home, job.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like going through an identity crisis, you know, and it's like, who am I? I'm not really this like dad or like a neighbor or like, this employee that I was before. I'm kind of stripped down to just who I am. And you kind of build that foundation up. And, music's been a big part of that for me, because what comes along with music is a community. And so
for real.
that's what surrounds you. And
in a funny way, I think, well, I mean, it's obviously is a privilege just in terms of the greater world and everything, but in and of itself, going and doing something like rehabilitation is what I went through. Even if someone didn't have like a problem with alcohol or drugs, I'd be like, you should do that.
Yeah, it's a good practice, absolutely, to be stripped of all of everything for a minute, so that you're kind of left alone with yourself. Yeah, and you think about what's gotten you to the place that you're in that point, and what do you want to do moving forward. That was really what changed things for me, is like I could continue this way of life, and but look where it's gotten me so far. Or I could do something about it and kind of make a change and start slowly and bag groceries at Publix and build a get together with your friends and jam, and just before you know it, you find yourself happy again and fulfilled and with family and friends, and you realize you had to go through that to really become the person that you are.
Absolutely. It was a big thing for me, that period of time after I came out, and then everything was closed down. I was lucky that everything was closed down, because my job as a professional musician, I was going out every weekend and people throwing whiskeys at me and stuff like that. And so it was nice to just have enough of a break where when I went back to all of that, I didn't associate like playing music with getting drunk anymore. I managed to separate them, But that's awesome, and fair play to you, man. And I wish you all the best with that in the future. It's it was a big deal for me too, and we're like rehab buddies, like at the same time.
Do you drink these days?
No,
me neither. Isn't it cool that like our main extracurricular activity is like hanging out in bars at night, and we don't drink and it ain't no thing. Isn't that amazing?
It really is.
And I think that's something that music's given us,
100%,
because it's not why we're there.
Exactly. If it wasn't for the fact I was playing in bands, I wouldn't be in there. Not because I don't like the people, I do, but it's like I got to have a reason to be there, like something to do,
But it's really cool that music allows us to be in there and have a place, and not that we needed approval, but it's like I'm here. And I can be here and totally not feel weird. And
absolutely. And I think part of my thing was that, I have sort of itchy fingers, itchy feet. Like I just, not very good at just kind of standing, or just like hanging for no reason. I like to be doing something, you know what I mean? So
the same way.
Yeah. Nicotine helps me with that a lot. With fidgetiness. I find different platforms to use nicotine, but that kind of helps with my fidgety.
Yeah. So
I think it makes it worse sometimes.
Does it?
Me, yeah. For me,
and a cigarette.
Well, I just find like I find with the going there and playing music that it just kind of solves all of that. It's like I'm here for a reason, and as a result, I can relax.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that. I love being so exhausted after a gig.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, totally. There's nothing that there's nothing I don't like about it. I was trying to think what it would be like without all the music in my life, and it's just I can't even imagine that person. You know, I don't even know what I would be doing.
Yeah, that'd be really boring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For me, I mean,
yeah, having those moments where you get to share what you create with your friends on stage. I mean, there's really nothing better. I mean, like you're just up there with your friends, you're agreeing on something, you're pumping it out, and people, you know, get to experience it. And
Yeah, I was
the best,
talking to James the other day about James, the a musician friend of mine who's in Killbillies, and
Oh, yeah.
with him.
Yep.
He we were talking about like the upward and downward spiral of like crowd participation. So it's like if a few people start moving around to your band,
Yep.
then that feeds the band, which feeds them, which means more people start dancing. And then you also get the opposite, which is if no one is doing anything, you have to try really hard to be enthusiastic about it, and then that energy kind of comes off. And
we talk about that all the
there.
time.
Yeah, I'm sure as you are too.
Yeah, because it's just so easy when there's a bunch of people and they're all going nuts.
Yeah,
but when it's a small crowd and not everyone's really jumping around, you have to come up with that energy on your own, and sometimes it's difficult.
It is, yeah. And what I usually find is if you do manage to find that energy, the few people that are there will join you in it.
Absolutely.
You've got to get over that hump.
Yes, and sometimes it's hard to push through that.
Totally.
We've had some moments where it's just like, you know, we look at each other, it's like, all right, let's go, keep going. And you got to push through that wall, but I don't think we've ever finished a show and said like, "Oh, I'm not so happy we did that." You know, like
totally, man. I love that. I love you guys' whole attitude to it, and I love the band, and I really appreciate you guys coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. One thing that I haven't asked you guys is when it comes to like individual instrument stuff. Are you guys? Do you guys practice these days?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still practice. Not every day. But there's a few guitars in my living room, and I'll pick them up a few times a week.
Yeah, nice.
And if we have a gig coming up,
yeah,
I usually try to go over the set list at least once a day.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I would say the because of the band Live from '05 that we play with, that plays so many different types of music and sometimes complicated tunes. Some of those Paramore tunes can be so challenging, and I think that keeps me practicing, keeps me on my toes, and we're just always adding songs to all of our set lists. And so I just think
challenging yourself.
Yeah, I think that we're challenging ourselves by just adding songs and trying to stay as busy as we want to be. This is going to be a nice break, though. I wonder if we'll stop practicing. Do you think if you come see us in February, might be a different experience.
No way. I know all these guys, and they always bring it.
Nobody wants to be the weak link.
Yeah, so, that's how it is. We all show up prepared because nobody wants to be the weakest link.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
and you know when you are too.
Oh man, we tell each other.
We hold each other accountable. I mean, what helps is the three of us really are truly our best friends.
Wicked,
which is really nice.
Great feeling.
So man, it's just so nice to be able to be clear and honest with your brothers.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's weird and hard, but most of the time it's so worth it.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely. So with Killbillies, I've got Tiki 52 from 6 to 10 on Friday the 8th. And then we're doing the Square Grouper duo from 3 to 6 in Jupiter. And then we're playing, that's right. So all of these are duos because Hector is out of town doing the chalk thing. So we've got Tiki 52, Square Grouper duo, and then we're playing O'Shea's as a duo as well. And then is there anything else? Oh, yeah, I think there is. I am playing at the Golden Juicery, which is this really awesome. If you've never been there, in Juneau, there's this really awesome like juice bar place that does kind of like things like acai bowls and things like healthy food and juices and smoothies, and it's called Golden Juicery, and that place is awesome.
That sounds delicious, man.
Ethan, the guy who runs it, is really cool. I actually teach him guitar.
Nice.
Yeah. So we've got quite a lot going on this weekend. We're going to get right back in with talking about the festival and what's going on with that once Hector gets back. But yeah, he'll be back next week. So I guess all that's left to say is thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's been a delight.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been an honor, man.
Wicked. Peace. Nice. Nice.
All right. That was fun.
Yeah, I had a brain fart and I was like, I can't think of anything.
It happens.
Luckily, the power of editing.
Yeah, that was a blast, man. Really, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh, you're just
Talk about a scene, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about.